now, maybe? Okay, finally, I got it to work. In case you can't tell, this is the first video I've ever made, so I'm not very good at it. I will look away a lot. I will say a lot because I don't know what I'm doing. So let's start again. My name is Zoe, aka Spuddychan. I have a job, but I'm also a cosplayer, even though I haven't done anything for a really long time, mainly out of pure laziness. Probably tell by my face right now, my hair, I'm looking a little bit unwashed, a little bit unkempt, a little bit cut, looking a lot better than I did at the weekend. So this is my first video, as I said, and I'm hoping to make more, but this first video is all about kind of what happened to me on Friday. I'm epileptic and I had my first ever atonic seizure, which I didn't even know was a thing. It turns out that it is, and it's a very real thing. So an atonic seizure is when you just drop to the floor and that's it. Like, no convulsions, nothing. You can just be minding your own business, talking to people, I don't know, like whatever, and then suddenly you just kind of, like a rag doll, you just lose all muscleness, and you go floppy and you just kind of fall. And I went headfirst. Thank God I was sat down at the time, but I went headfirst onto a concrete floor. My face is looking a lot better now than it was. I will try and get some photos and put them here if I work out how to edit videos properly, and maybe over here too, of actually what my face looked like after it happened. So as you can probably see, I had a big cut here, which I had butterfly stitching in. I had a black eye, which is now pretty much, apart from a little bit here, and maybe a little bit there, has now gone. A huge graze around my face here. This was probably the second to worst injury that I had. I split my lip completely, and I had stitches put in. It's also on the other side. Gross, right? But the reason why that happened is because as I fell forward, I bit through my lip and also broke my tooth in the process. So I also had a little broken snaggletooth to deal with, which thankfully I got fixed on Monday with a composite filling, which was my first ever filling at 32 years old. So, yeah, if I'm going to get a filling, I'm kind of glad that it's through something medical rather than me not looking after my teeth. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, I guess. So, yeah. I was originally diagnosed with epilepsy in 2014. I've been on medication since then. I haven't had any major seizures for 4.5 years. And then, now I've had 2 in a week. So that's not very good. In fact, I've had 3 in 2 weeks. The first one, I believe, was atonic clonic seizure, but I'll come back to that. The second one was the one I had on Friday, which was atonic seizure, where I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that I was on the floor and I was covered in blood and I was screaming and and I want to show you my shoe, because this is like, other than if I can get the pictures up, this is the last thing that I have that says what happened to me. Look at the blood on my pretty shoes. Look at my pretty shoes. Covered in blood. My dress was covered in blood, and it was a beautiful dress too. But thankfully, that's sorted. Yeah, but anyway, it's not really important. And then I also had what I believe was another tonic-clonic seizure on Tuesday night, which is a bit of a mystery to me because I don't know how it happened. All I know is that I woke up the next day and I had a bruise on my left shoulder arm, like up here, and at the top of my left thigh, and I had a massive bump on the back of my head, like here, and I've got some like quite deep cuts on the back of my head. So after some investigation work on my behalf, because I was racking my brains trying to think like what on earth happened, I was cleaning in the bedroom, although you never tell what, looking at it, it's a blimmin' mess. I believe I had a tonic-clonic seizure while I was in bed, possibly while asleep, and fell out of bed. And I have a little glass table over there. I believe I hit the back of my head on the table as I fell. And actually on the floor there is some dry blood. So I'm thinking maybe that might be what happened. Detective Spuddychan to the rescue. But the truth is, I'll never know. I'll never know what happened because I just won't. So anyway, the whole point of my video today is really, I want to make this a regular thing. I'm about to undergo quite extensive investigation work as to why I'm having seizures again. After 4 years of not having them. I have already had blood test done because I take sodium valproate twice a day. Since 2014 I've been taking 200 milligrams of sodium valproate twice a day, and in order for sodium valproate to work as an epilepsy drug you need to have a certain level of it in your bloodstream. Now my bloods came back with a level of 26. It should be between 50 and 100. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why. But I guess time will tell. So, I need to go and see, what am I doing? I'm going to have an MRI on Monday. And then on Thursday, I'm going to see the neurologist. And I'm going to have a CAT scan and an EEG. And hopefully they can put me on the right course of treatment again and work out what the hell's going on, because yeah, it's not really much fun, if I'm honest. Got enough to deal with. Don't really want to be dealing with like random blackouts and injuries and losing teeth. My teeth are bad enough as it is. Like, look at that. They're terrible. But at least if I knock some more out, then I might get some nice teeth. But yeah, of course that's just one aspect of things. But yeah, that would be pretty cool to get sorted. I'll talk more in later videos about how this is not a new thing. I actually had my first ever, I'm going to call it a seizure, in 2001. It was super duper embarrassing because I was at school. It was my science class. Sorry, I've just realized I'm talking really weird because like this tooth is like not where it used to be, so and probably also my lip actually is just making me talk a bit like this, so I'm very sorry. Yeah, so sorry, I do this a lot. 2001, I was at school, I was in science class, and I had just got my second period, I guess. I was a late bloomer in that respect. And I got up to give my presentation to the class, and then suddenly I felt like I had all this like hot cotton wool filling up like from my feet, going up my legs, going up my body, and it got to my shoulders and then to my neck. And next thing I know, I'm lying on the floor, with those horrible like brown school carpets that are just like, not carpet, they're just disgusting. And I'm in the recovery position, like everybody has left the room apart from a few teachers, and my trousers were wet. I had peed my pants in front of all of my schoolmates. But yeah, apparently I had just dropped to the floor and had a tonic-clonic seizure in front of the whole class, and apparently it terrified everyone. Oh, sorry. And I was more worried about the fact that I'd peed my pants in front of everyone. So yeah, I was sent to hospital, and I saw a neurologist, cardiologist, an endocrinologist, and was told, no, you're fine. Just vasovagal syncope, fainting fits. So if you faint, you're liable to have what looks like a seizure, but it's not epilepsy. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I can live with that. So yeah, I didn't really have any more for a few years. Like, between 2001 and 2014, there were a number of incidents when I did have these fainting fits. Normally I would wake up in the middle of the night, like go to the loo, and then suddenly get that feeling of like cotton wool, and I was like, okay, I've had this before. I know what happens when the cotton wool feeling gets to here. That's when I'm gonna fall over and have what looks like a seizure. And I distinctly remember 2 times. Once was I was living in a rented flat, and I had carpet in the bathroom. So I was in the bathroom, and I held onto the sink. So, you know, if I fell, I wasn't gonna like really badly injure myself, because these bathrooms are small. This was in the UK. It was a nice carpet bathroom, and so I held onto the sink, and when I fainted, I guess I had a seizure because, again, peed my pants. Well, wasn't wearing any pants, but, you know, peed myself. But I also managed to, A, hit my head on the toilet on the way down, and B, get carpet burn on my face, which was great fun to explain to people when I went back to work, like why I had, like, round here, like this big thing, like graze, and they're like, wow, like, what have you been doing? I was like, having seizures. Yeah, that seems to shut them up. And the second time that I really distinctly remember is when I, shortly after I moved out to Spain, actually, which is where I live now. Not that you can tell in this dark, dingy room that looks, yeah, I'm lazy. It's like 9:30 in the morning, so I haven't even showered. I mean, look at me. Look at me. I'm a mess. Anyway, and I had the same feeling again. So I went into the bathroom. Now, the difference between British bathrooms and Spanish bathrooms, and houses in general, is that in Spain you often have tiled floors. So yeah, you can guess what happened. I went down, hit my head on the toilet again, and then smashed my head on the tiled floor. At this point, I was also having some severe abdominal pain because I had eaten a whole bag of Werther's Original sugar-free toffees that day. I don't know if you know much about what happens if you eat too many sugar-free sweets, but basically, your digestive system says, no, we're not doing this. So I was in agony from like having stomach cramps, and like I couldn't go to the toilet or anything. Like, nothing was happening. I was just like, oh my god. But at this point, because I'd hit my head and it was bleeding and it was swollen, and I was like, I need an ambulance. Like, I can't do anything about this. So I called an ambulance, and they came out to get me and took me to my local hospital, which is in La Línea de la Concepción, which is in Cádiz, because, as you can tell, I am English, and I speak English. I also speak Spanish, but also I work in Gibraltar. More about that some other time. And I sat there in in the hospital in La Linea, and like, yeah, they had a look at my head, and I explained to them that, like, look, you know, this happens, like, I had a seizure. They didn't really do anything. They just checked my head and gave me a little x-ray on my head, and were like, no, you're fine, like, you'll be okay. And I'm like, I had a seizure. Like, did anyone see you have a seizure? No. Okay, so how do you know? So yeah, you know, these things happen. But then in 2014, so a couple of years later, I went to have blood drawn, and I said to the nurse who was taking my blood, because I was already feeling, I was having this weird aura already, and I said to the nurse, like, look, I feel weird. I don't have a problem having blood taken. I've had plenty of blood drawn, which I will show you some consequences of shortly. You know, but if I faint, it's very likely that I may have what looks like a seizure. And he was like, no, don't worry, you're not going to faint, it's fine. And I was like, no, I really don't feel good. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. It's gonna happen. And he was like, no, you're fine. Here, have this glucotab, and gave me this glucotab. And yeah, next thing I know, I'm waking up on my back, like strapped like on this like bed thing, hooked up to all these machines, and it's like they're trying to talk to me, and they're saying like, Zoe, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I'm trying to say, yeah, I can hear you, but it's just coming out as and I don't know, maybe the glucotab was stuck somewhere. But it was really frustrating because I wanted to talk, but I couldn't. Like I wasn't completely back in the room yet. And then that's when they said to me, like, look, you've had a tonic-clonic seizure in front of medical professionals. Like, girl, you got epilepsy. So I was like, okay. And actually, as it turns out, my mother, God bless her, she also has epilepsy. She was diagnosed as I think she was in her mid to late 40s when she was diagnosed. And when she was diagnosed, she told her dad, so my grandfather, and he was like, oh, yeah, I have that too. Never thought to tell us? Really? Hereditary kind of thing? No? Okay, never mind. Anyway, God rest his soul. So yeah, there's a family history of it too, so it's not really any surprise that I'm epileptic. Late onset in all three cases. So yeah, but my dosage has been increased. So let's see what happens there. Hopefully no more seizures since Tuesday, and today is Friday, so I'm doing good. It's been like 3 days seizure free. I'm going to see my psychiatrist today, which is another thing I'll get to talk about a lot, because this is one of the reasons why I'm making this vlog, is to talk about not just epilepsy, because I don't want it to be like, oh, poor me, because that's not how I feel. Like, epilepsy is a thing that millions of people have and they deal with, and you can live a perfectly normal life. It's just really important to get the right treatment and to get a doctor who understands, and make sure you get, like, honestly, any test that they can do. They quite often, like, epilepsy frequently doesn't show up on MRI scans, so it's important to get an EEG. I understand in the UK that can be quite difficult with the NHS being so, like, stretched, but it's really important to push for getting an EEG. And also be aware of the implications having epilepsy can have, such as you can't drive, which is really sad because I just bought a car, so a really nice car too, so I can't drive it, so my boyfriend's gonna have to sort his driving license out and drive me around like Miss Daisy, which I'm okay with. But also, yeah, I mean, sometimes it can make it difficult being on your own. I've lived with epilepsy on my own for quite some time, so basically whenever I've had like seizures, like there's not been anyone around, or if there has been someone around, they've, I've said, hey, I've just had a seizure, and they're like, cool, what do you want me to do about it? And I'm like, nothing, I'm just telling you, go back to bed. But yeah, it's good to have people around you that understand and know what to do if you do have a seizure, and also to understand the different types of seizure there are. The best thing to do, because I mean, most people who have tonic-clonic seizures they'll just have them, like they don't have auras. I count myself very lucky in the sense that I get auras, so I know like something's going to happen. But in the case of atonic seizures, like I had no idea that was coming, because if I did, I wouldn't look like this. I could have put my hands out, I could have like got down into the recovery position, but no, I just went face planted the floor in front of all my work colleagues at the Christmas party, which was great. I've only been there a month as well. Trust me to ruin a Christmas party. Honestly, I really know how to like make a statement at Christmas parties. So that's probably the best one yet, though. Well, I can wink now. There we go. I couldn't do that for like a whole week. So yeah. I think I've spoken for long enough, and I keep looking down, and I know it's really annoying, and it's really obvious that I am a complete amateur at this. So I am going to sign off for now, and who knows, maybe I will be back soon. Probably. Lots of things to talk about. Yeah. I also have some other medical conditions which I think are really important to talk about. Epilepsy is just the one that's on my mind at the moment for obvious reasons. But yeah, I also have bipolar disorder and quite severe anxiety, so that's why actually vlogging is it's a really big thing for me, because like you have no idea how nervous I am right now doing this. But I think it will really help me, and if it means I can help other people as well, then that makes things super duper awesome. And yeah, hopefully you'll get to learn a little bit more about me and about my life. There's a lot going on in it right now, so yeah, that would be really cool to share with everyone. And yeah, I don't know, if I make a channel, then maybe I'll make a channel and you can like it and subscribe to it and stuff. Like that would be really cool, and then I can be like YouTube famous. I'm not going to be YouTube famous. That's not me at all. Especially when my first video is me lying on my bed, which at least I made the bed, wearing cat pajama bottoms, like a t-shirt, like haven't washed my hair, I'm not wearing any makeup, I'm sat here with a bloody shoe, and I mean literally a bloody shoe, and my cats aren't here, and everyone likes to see cats. I'm not suggesting I show you my cat. No. I mean, I have 2 cats and they are really beautiful. So yeah, hopefully. Normally they're like here and will be like, but no, they're not. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. For more on epilepsy and bipolar and anxiety and everything else life has to offer, I'm here. So I will sign off now. I will try and do a little bit of editing, but this is pretty much just going to be me, my first video, just being me and rubbish. I will try and get those photos on there, because I want you to see just how awful I looked on Friday, and actually how like a week has made so much difference. And also, I cannot sing the praises highly enough of the Gibraltar Health Authority, who picked me up in an ambulance, and then with the paramedics, who I met one of them again yesterday, and he was super nice and super cute too. So I was like, oh, you saw me bleeding from the mouth and covered in blood. That's embarrassing. So yeah, sorry. Want to thank the Gibraltar Health Authority, especially St Bernard's Hospital, the Specialist Medical Clinic in Gibraltar, especially Dr. Risso and Dr. Hyder, who have been amazing, and also my lovely psychiatrist, Dr. Hallin, who I love with all my heart because she's amazing. And yeah, sorry, it's turning into like an Oscar speech now. And my therapist Sarah, who is super cool, and I'm really sorry that I missed our session this week because I was in A&E getting all kinds of blood. Oh yeah, I said I was going to show you about the blood thing, wasn't I? If I could do this. That is what 3 days of having blood taken from you looks like. It's hideous. Right? Yeah? Okay. And guess what? There's going to be more of that. This is my life now. Anyway, this video has gone on for way too long, so I'm going to shut up now, get showered, get dressed. Yeah. See you soon.